Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've ever felt the confusing push and pull from a woman you care about, then listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal will change the way you see her distance forever. Right now, she might seem cold, unavailable, or even indifferent. You're questioning yourself, wondering if you did something wrong, or if she's losing interest. The truth, none of it has anything to do with you. She's falling for you, and that's why she's acting distant. I know it sounds contradictory, but this is one of the deepest, most misunderstood truths in female psychology. Women don't simply show all their feelings openly, and the closer they feel to someone, the more they can unconsciously pull back. It's her mind trying to measure the depth of her own emotions, and it's terrifying because she doesn't want to be hurt, rejected, or overwhelmed by vulnerability. She's testing the waters without even realizing it, watching for how you react when she steps back. Now, before we dive deeper, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Trust me, you want to be part of this conversation because understanding this could completely change the way you navigate dating and relationships forever. So pay attention. The next few minutes will unlock signals she's sending that most men completely miss. You're about to gain an insider perspective on her mind, a perspective most men never even get. When you start seeing these signs clearly, you'll stop overthinking, stop chasing, and instead start connecting on a level that's magnetic, irresistible, and emotionally charged. Here's the first critical thing you need to understand. Her distance is not rejection, it's anticipation. It's a subtle psychological strategy that women use when they feel something intense but aren't ready to fully show it. When she pulls away, she's not pushing you out. She's creating space for herself to process her growing feelings. And here's the powerful secret. Your calm, measured response to her distance is exactly what strengthens her attraction. Panic, neediness, or overanalyzing will only confirm her fears and push her further. But when you learn to read the patterns behind her behavior, to see her distance as a sign of growing interest rather than disinterest, you gain control over your emotional experience, unknowingly over hers as well. Now let's get real. When she's distant, you might feel a knot in your chest, a mix of frustration and fear creeping in. That unease is exactly what she senses, and it's part of why she's drawn to you. Women are incredibly intuitive. They feel emotional energy, not just words. When she senses your calm confidence, your ability to handle her unpredictability without losing control, it triggers something primal inside her. It tells her you are emotionally strong, dependable, and most importantly, safe to let her guard down around. But if you react with desperation, jealousy, or insecurity, it's like throwing a red flag into a bull's field. You'll push her away faster than you realize. Here's the thing most men completely miss. Her distance isn't a lack of interest. It's a test. It's her way of measuring whether you can withstand emotional complexity, whether you can tolerate her depth without trying to flatten it or fix it. She's falling for you quietly, but she's scared. Scared that if she opens up too fast, the intensity will burn her. Scared that you might misinterpret her feelings, or that the very thing she feels for you could vanish if she steps too close. Your job isn't to chase, argue, or demand answers. Your job is to be the anchor that she unconsciously reaches for, the stability she can rely on while her heart and mind battle the fear of vulnerability. Think about it. The women who captivate us most are rarely the ones who are always available. They are the ones who create emotional tension because their presence is magnetic, but their distance demands attention. It's a psychological pull that triggers our deepest desire to protect, pursue, and understand. And when you grasp this dynamic, your entire approach to dating transforms. You stop reacting. You start observing. You stop pleading. You start holding your energy. And that, my friend, is when her attraction accelerates, without you saying a single desperate word. This is the invisible dance most men fail to see. While others panic, overanalyze, or chase, you're learning to decode the signals she's sending, the subtle pauses in her text replies, the fleeting moments of eye contact, the slight hesitation in her voice when she talks to you. These are not signs of withdrawal. They are breadcrumbs. Each one tells you she's falling for you, even if her words and actions seem contradictory. Understanding this is the key to moving from uncertainty to clarity, from frustration to control, from confusion to magnetic connection. Here's a truth most men never hear. When a woman distances herself, it's rarely about you. It's about the intensity of her feelings. The stronger her attraction, the more conflicted she becomes internally. She's fighting a storm inside her mind, a battle between desire and fear. She wants to be close, but vulnerability terrifies her. She wants to express her feelings, but the risk of being hurt or rejected makes her hesitate. This push-pull dynamic isn't manipulation. It's her psyche trying to protect itself while still craving connection with you. The moment you understand that, you stop blaming yourself and start seeing her actions as an honest reflection of her emotions. Most men react to distance with anxiety, with over-texting, over-explaining, or over-analyzing every interaction. That's exactly what breaks attraction. Attraction isn't about trying to fix someone or prove your worth. It's about holding your ground, maintaining your emotional stability, and letting her come to you. The more you remain centered, the more she unconsciously feels the safety to explore her feelings. Women are wired to sense security in men. Security isn't about wealth, status, or charm. It's about emotional consistency. When she steps back and you stay grounded, you become the safe harbor in the storm of her emotions. She starts to crave your presence because it's the one place where she doesn't have to defend herself. Now notice this: the pauses, the subtle delays, the moments she seems off. These are not signs of losing interest. They're moments where she's wrestling with how much to show you. Every hesitation, every slight retreat is a signal that her feelings are deepening, not fading. Her mind is mapping out whether she can trust you with the emotional intensity she feels. She's assessing if your reactions match your words, if your calm matches your confidence. And here's the kicker: most men never see this. Most men interpret distance as rejection and rush to fill the void, pushing her further away without realizing it. Understanding this transforms everything. You stop chasing illusions of certainty and start seeing the reality. Her distance is proof of her growing attachment. Every subtle pullback is her subconscious signaling, "I'm falling and I'm afraid." The more you observe without panic, the more you empower her to lean in naturally. This is how desire escalates. This is how tension becomes magnetic. And this, my friend, is where most men fail. They see distance and assume the connection is weakening. In truth, they're standing at the threshold of her heart, just steps away from experiencing the depth of her emotions fully. Now let's talk about the signals she's sending that most men completely miss because they're too focused on what they think her actions mean, instead of what they truly reveal. Pay attention: the slight hesitation in her voice when she laughs at your jokes, the way her eyes linger just a fraction longer than necessary, the small, most imperceptible gestures of care. These are the threads of her emotional attachment. She's falling for you quietly, and every subtle move is a breadcrumb trail, showing you the depth of her feelings without her ever having to say the words out loud. Most men overlook this because they want loud, clear, immediate validation, but women rarely operate in absolutes when it comes to emotions. Here's the harsh truth: the more you chase clarity, the less she feels free to express her emotions authentically. The more you demand reassurance, the more she feels trapped and pulled away. Her distance isn't about punishing you, it's about protecting her heart. She's navigating her own emotional labyrinth, testing your patience, your confidence, and your ability to hold space for her without judgment. And here's the twist: the more you maintain your calm, your emotional self-sufficiency, the more magnetic you become. You become the one person she subconsciously knows she can rely on, the one presence that doesn't trigger fear, only curiosity and desire. Notice the timing of her distance. Often it comes right when she feels herself getting close. When intimacy or vulnerability rises, she steps back. This is not random. It's a psychological mechanism wired to manage fear of emotional overload. And here's the key: when you recognize this, you stop seeing her pullback as rejection and start seeing it as a signal of growing attachment. Each retreat is evidence of her internal struggle, not evidence of waning interest. She's wrestling with emotions she may not fully understand herself. She's stepping back because her feelings are accelerating faster than her comfort allows. This is why most men fail. They respond emotionally, reactively, without understanding the hidden psychology at play. But when you shift your perception, when you start reading the pauses, the hesitations, the subtle gestures for what they truly are, you gain a remarkable advantage. You start seeing her distance as an invitation rather than a wall. you begin to recognize that every moment she seems distant is actually a signal. She's captivated, conflicted, and falling harder than you realize. And when you respond with calm confidence, patience, and subtle attentiveness, you step into a role few men ever master, the man she can't resist, because he understands her on a level nobody else does. Now let's get into what's really happening inside her mind when she acts distant. Most men think distance equals disinterest, but that couldn't be further from the truth. When she pulls away, it's often because her feelings are growing too strong, too fast, and she's terrified of losing control. She's caught between desire and fear, and every part of her being is wrestling with vulnerability. She wants to show you how much she cares, but she's scared that revealing too much will either push you away or make her feel exposed. This inner conflict is the hidden engine behind her distance. It's what makes her seem unpredictable, elusive, and sometimes confusing. Here's the psychological reality. Women are naturally drawn to stability, strength, and emotional presence. When her emotions intensify, she subconsciously tests whether you possess these qualities. She wants to know if you can remain grounded while her feelings swirl around like a storm. If you panic, overreact, or chase, you confirm her fears that opening up is unsafe. But if you stay calm, patient, and emotionally available without being needy, you signal to her subconscious that she can trust you with her heart. That trust is what turns hesitation into attraction. That trust is what makes her start leaning in instead of pulling away. Watch closely how she interacts with you. The brief touches, the soft smiles, the way she engages when you're not demanding attention. These are tiny signals that she's wrestling with desire. She's testing the waters, feeling the depth of her emotions, and gauging how safe it is to let herself fall. Men who miss this read it as ambiguity or disinterest, and they make the fatal mistake of chasing, explaining, or trying to fix her. But when you recognize the patterns, when you see her distance as the proof of growing attachment rather than a threat, everything changes. You begin to respond in ways that naturally deepen her feelings without saying a word. The final piece to understand is timing. Her moments of distance are not random. They are perfectly aligned with the intensity of her attraction. The closer she feels, the more she may pull back. It's paradoxical, but it's the nature of human desire. And here's the critical insight. If you respond with patience, calm confidence, and subtle attention, you don't just survive her tests, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. The man her mind and body are drawn to, even when she tries to resist. This is where attraction becomes magnetic, where distance transforms into desire, and where you finally hold the power to navigate her emotions with precision and understanding. Now let's talk about how you respond when she acts distant, because this is where most men fail miserably. The temptation to chase, to overtext, or to demand explanations is overwhelming, but that behavior destroys attraction. Instead, you need to operate from a place of calm authority, emotional stability, and quiet confidence. When she pulls back, it's not a signal to panic. It's an invitation to demonstrate your strength without saying a word. Your presence, your energy, your ability to remain grounded while she tests the waters, this is what sparks her desire, not your words or actions trying to fix the situation. Think of her distance as a mirror. It reflects her fears, her insecurities, and the intensity of her feelings. The more she retreats, the more deeply she's engaging with her emotions about you. When you respond with patience and emotional consistency, you become her safe harbor. She begins to see that being close to you doesn't risk emotional chaos. It promises connection, stability, and understanding. This subtle psychological dance is what separates men who are forgotten from men who become unforgettable. Women are wired to notice how you handle emotional complexity, and the way you respond to distance speaks louder than any declaration of affection. Let's be brutally honest, she's observing every micro-reaction you have. Every pause, every tone, every small shift in energy communicates volumes to her subconscious. When you overreact, she senses insecurity, and her attachment weakens. When you remain composed, she feels security, and her attraction deepens. The paradox is clear. The more she pulls away, the more she's drawn in, but only if you master your emotional state. You don't chase her emotions. You let them chase you by maintaining your stability. Here's the key. Act with subtlety, restraint, and intention. A calm text, a confident presence, or even giving her space without overthinking it, conveys power more than anything else. She senses that you're in control, that your emotional world isn't dependent on her immediate responses, and that makes her subconscious signal, I can fall for him, I can trust him, I want him. When you internalize this principle, distance no longer triggers anxiety, it triggers attraction. Her retreat becomes an opportunity, her hesitation a sign of rising desire, and her mind a puzzle you now know how to navigate with skill. Now it's time to reveal the hidden behaviors that confirm she's emotionally invested, even when she seems distant. Most men only see the surface, short texts, delayed replies, or moments of withdrawal. But those are distractions. The real signs are subtle, almost imperceptible, yet they reveal the truth of her feelings. Watch how she remembers small details about your life, the things you casually mentioned in passing. Notice how she occasionally mirrors your gestures, your tone, or your expressions. These unconscious behaviors are her mind's way of staying connected, even when her words say otherwise. She's constantly mapping the emotional landscape between you and her, seeking reassurance in subtle ways, without overtly risking vulnerability. Pay attention to how she engages when you're not demanding attention. A soft laugh at your jokes, lingering eye contact, a touch that seems almost accidental. They're all indicators she's processing her attraction. Distance doesn't erase interest, it sharpens it. She's not hiding her feelings from you, she's cautiously exploring them, testing the strength of her emotional pull before fully surrendering. And every time she checks in, no matter how small, it's a reaffirmation of her growing attachment. Men miss this because they expect grand gestures or constant reassurance. Women operate on emotional nuance, and learning to read that nuance is what separates the men who are forgotten from the men who are remembered. There's also timing. Her moments of withdrawal often coincide with periods when her feelings for you intensify. She may seem distracted or preoccupied, but this is the subconscious wrestling with attraction. It's her mind's way of measuring whether you can withstand her growing emotional intensity. Every subtle check-in she initiates, every playful tease, every carefully placed smile is proof. She's engaged, she's interested, and she's falling, but she's doing it on her terms. Understanding this is crucial because it allows you to stop overreacting, to stop questioning, and instead respond in ways that deepen her emotional investment. Here's the key takeaway. Her distance is not rejection. Her subtle actions, the way she navigates emotional tension, and the small cues of attention all point to one undeniable truth. She's falling for you. The men who succeed are the ones who read these signals accurately, remain patient, and respond with calm confidence. Her mind is testing you, her heart is drawing closer, and every subtle behavior is a breadcrumb leading you straight into the center of her feelings. When you see it this way, her distance transforms from confusion into clarity, from frustration into opportunity, and from uncertainty into a magnetic connection that's impossible to ignore. Finally, let's bring it all together. The mindset, the subtle actions, and the psychological truths that make her fall fully for you. By now you understand that her distance is not a wall but a signal, not a rejection but an invitation. She's testing, gauging, and wrestling with her emotions. The most powerful thing you can do is embrace calm confidence. Your stability, patience, and quiet presence become the anchor she unconsciously seeks. She may act distant, she may hesitate, but each time she steps back, she's giving herself space to feel something deeper, and you're the man she feels safest doing that with. Here's what separates the men women can't resist from the rest. They understand the paradox of attraction. They know that the harder she pulls away, the stronger her internal desire is becoming. They don't chase, they don't panic, they don't demand clarity. They hold their energy, maintain their value, and let her emotional waves roll over them without losing composure. This doesn't just spark attraction, it creates obsession. She starts noticing you in ways she can't explain. She's thinking about you when she doesn't have to, feeling drawn to you even when she's trying to resist. This is the magnetic pull every man wants to create, but few ever achieve. Next, understand that subtle action beats loud declarations every time. A perfectly timed message, a confident tone, a smile that communicates security without neediness. All these small gestures amplify her emotional investment. She's reading every detail, every nuance, and each one reinforces the subconscious message, you are safe, strong, and irresistible. Her distance is the perfect stage for this psychology to play out. If you respond correctly, you don't just maintain connection, you intensify it. The push-pull dynamic becomes a dance that she unconsciously wants to participate in, drawn to your energy like gravity. Finally, internalize this truth. The deeper she feels, the more she'll test. The more she tests, the more she's falling. Her mind may resist, her words may seem ambiguous, and her actions may confuse you. But if you stay calm, patient, and emotionally unshakable, you will become the man she's already imagining, the one she can't stop thinking about, the one she wants closer than anyone else. By understanding her distance as the proof of her growing feelings, by responding with the right energy, and by holding your emotional center, you unlock a level of attraction most men can only dream of. She's falling for you, and when you master this, there's nothing that can stop her from leaning in fully, completely, and irresistibly.